Welcome to my film review of Breakthrough. Now, this was a film I knew almost nothing about. It was a film that I went to see based on the judgment of the poster, basically. I saw it looked intriguing. You'll have seen the poster, so you'll know what I mean by it looked intriguing. I thought that could be the kind of movie I'd be interested in, even though I didn't really know what it was going to be about. And what I actually did, just to confirm, because there's a lot of good movies out at the moment. So I read I was going to read the synopsis from the Cineworld, advert, and I only needed to read about a line and a half of it, and it said about the inspirational true story. I was like, that is fine. Based on what I've seen from the poster, and based on it being a true story, I was like, this is the kind of movie that I think would definitely appeal to me. And I didn't read anymore. Now, on reflection, I've come back out and read the entire synopsis, and I would say that on the whole it doesn't spoil it, except I wouldn't quite read it all, because at the end there's some references to books and such like, and in the headline of those books they're a bit of a spoiler. So, what this movie is about is... well, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's based on a true story. It's remarkable events. What more do you need to know? Based on a true story, remarkable events. And in terms of what it's got in it, it's got some basketball, which I thought was great because it's the NBA playoffs at the moment. So very topical, timely thing to have in a movie, the playoffs, basketball. Not a great deal, but there's a sprinkling of basketball in there, so that was cool. And also, there's quite a lot of religion in there as well. So I'm not religious, but you didn't have to be religious to have enjoyed the movie, I think is the point. It was a fantastic story, utterly stunning story, the kind of story that everybody should have known about, and I'm amazed I've never heard about it. I'm very intrigued to go online and start Googling to learn more about this story, because it is just utterly remarkable, and it's told in a very good way in the movie. The cast, there's one member of the cast who reminds me a little bit of the Waterboy's mum. If you've seen the movie The Waterboy, she totally reminds me of his mum. Quite a very loving mum, shall we say, maybe a little bit overly protective of her child. So that, not that this is all a funny movie, but that kind of was a resemblance that kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But there's not really too much you can say about the movie, other than it's a remarkable story based on true events. So, like I say, it's a kind of movie that absolutely everybody should see. However, the point in these reviews are whether a movie is worth going to the cinema for or not. And given the amount of epic movies that are out right now, I would recommend at the movies going and seeing Avengers Endgame for a second time, rather than going and seeing this. And the reason, although I really enjoyed the movie, there's multiple reasons. The most important reason is it's the kind of movie that it doesn't matter where you see it. It doesn't have to be seen on the big screen. There's no spectacular scenes that can only be appreciated to the max on a big screen. So therefore, you might as well just watch it at home. It's the kind of movie that it doesn't really matter when you watch it. The likelihood is if you haven't heard about this story now, you're not going to hear about it necessarily over the next year or two, however long it takes for this movie to come out on TV or for you to rent it. So yeah, just catch this one at home, save your money, and also, do you want to go to this was a bit of a tearjerker. If this movie doesn't make you feel emotional, then there's no point in you watching this movie, because this movie isn't for you. The whole point in watching a movie like this is to feel the emotion, and if you're dead to that, then, like I say, why bother watching this movie? And if you're not dead to it, then do you really want to sit in a cinema in public and cry? That's my argument for these kind of movies. Do you really want to sit in a public place weeping with others? I mean, it's not my ideal time, not my idea of a good day out, I've got to admit. So, you know, that's you know, that's up to you. If you like to get emotional in public places, then great, go to the cinema. But if you would rather, you know, keep that private to your own living room or bedroom, catch this one. Catch this one at home, I would say. So, I mean, how would I rate this movie? I've got to rank it out of 10, haven't I? Firstly, you know, cinema, is it worth going to the cinema or not? I think I've covered that. You know, absolutely no need to go to the cinema unless you want to have a cry in public. What would I give it out of 10? I mean, for the story, 8 out of 10. For what happened, you know, it's an incredible story. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 overall. 8 out of 10. Must see movie, but I'm only going to give it an 8 out of 10. Can't really go into reasons because don't want to give too much away. Popcorn munching and where to sit. I mean, sit at the back so people can't see you cry. Popcorn munching. Do you want to eat while you're crying? No, probably not. You just want to take a load of tissues with you. So those are my tips for getting the most out of seeing this movie. Watching it at home is the way to go. I mean, I could hear people right throughout the cinema sniffling, you know. It reminded me of when I went to the cinema to see Titanic. I thought it was weird that people were crying then, but I could understand it for this movie. So, I'll leave it there. Breakthrough. Cracker of a movie. If you are into your books, which why the hell are you watching my movie reviews? And, you know, maybe you like books and movies. Personally, I'm all about movies, not about the books. But if you are about books, look up the book for this, because I imagine the book would be a spectacular read. In fact, my mum is big into her books, so I will possibly buy her this book and not tell her what happens in the movie, because it's an excellent story, one that everybody should be aware of. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you've got something out of this review. Ultimately, if you're going to go to the cinema to see it, don't go and see Avengers again, or, you know, all the other awesome movies that are out right now. And catch this one at home. You know, definitely catch this one at home. Cracking movie. So I'll leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed this review and got something out of it. And thank you. I will see you on the next review. Goodbye.